let's celebrate family time in all its glory. Every heated moment, the highs and the lows. Woohoo! So hold each other tightly, because together feels better at Alton Towers Resort. Book your escape today.
Doesn't that advert just give you the absolute goosebumps? And it's not just that advert, all the Alton Towers adverts do. And especially when they come on at the start of the season, it's pure excitement. It's a joy. Well, I'm not here to talk about adverts. I'm here because the last episode did very well talking about Zamperla, and I really want to talk about something that's very close to my heart. And a place which is very close to my heart being Alton Towers. So yes, let's talk about Alton Towers. A park which I have been going to since I was really young. Probably was going there since I was a baby. And I'm coming on, 20 years of age now, and every time I go, it still gets me excited. I still get the goosebumps. I still get, the adrenaline rush. It never ends. And that's one of the absolute great things, not just about Alton Towers, about theme parks in general. If you are a theme park lover, it doesn't matter whether you're an enthusiast, whether you're a GP, you are going to have these feelings. But Alton Towers this year, to put it in the simplest of terms, in a very ironic term as well, has been a roller coaster of a year. There has been highs and there has been lows. And this is what I want to talk about. I always, in whatever happens, I want to see Alton Towers succeed. But this year has been up and down, like a roller coaster, and it's also gone upside down a few times. Let's talk about the good things about this year. New ride additions, Curse at Alton Manor. What an unbelievable experience that is. I mean, that has got to be the best dark ride in the UK and one of the best in Europe, like in the world. By all means, that is a world-class experience in there. The mixture of old and new, from what was at Jewel to what they've brought in, and they've not only stopped there, they've added more. This Halloween, they've added more stuff to the Curse Alton Manor. Like, it's crazy. It is the standard. They have set themselves a standard, and I think that is why Alton Towers this year has been such a roller coaster of an experience, because they have set themselves that standard. That standard there, Curse Alton Manor, is top tier. And there is no doubt about that. You saw that in my tier list. It was top tier. It is a class experience. And I urge anybody from the UK, from the world, from Europe, anywhere, come and ride the Curse Alton Manor. Make it your reason why you come to Alton Towers, because it is such an incredible experience. It really is. What else? Nemesis Subterra, another great experience. I mean, I did Nemesis Subterra back when it opened originally, back in 2012. I think I actually did it the year after, in 2013. Again, another amazing experience. Great storytelling of the Nemesis, story of the Phalanx. They've made a couple of changes, obviously, to fit in with Nemesis closing. And
Nemesis is closing due to her abnormal behavior.
The rebuild, which, by the way, while we're on that subject, amazing marketing from Alton Towers on that front, with the whole Nemesis project. Outstanding marketing. How that didn't win best marketing campaign in the UK Theme Park Awards. Don't even get me started on awards. That is for another video. Not the UK Theme Park Awards though, but another awards in theme parks. That is for another talk video. Nemesis Subterra, brilliant, absolutely superb, great storytelling of, as I say, of the phalanx of the Nemesis creature, of just everything. It's a great ride experience. It's really well put together. The actors are great. They do a great job in there, and it is a really good ride. It's a good ride for throughputs. It's a good filler ride. It's what Alton Towers needed, especially with the lack of rides this season, which we will get onto a bit later. But the really good positives there. from Towers on those two fronts, with Nemesis especially. Um, if you're looking at other things, Waterfalls coming back on the Rapids, the new Jeep for the Rapids, really great theming piece there. Um, Great to see more of that. The Rapids really have stepped up this year, and it really gives you an incentive to ride the Rapids now. Like when I went there last time I went to Towers this year, I actually got a bit wet on the Congo, and that's not happened for a long time. So yeah, really good positives coming out of Towers, and I think as I go through more of the talking about this, I will come out with more positives to go through. But let's talk about why Towers has been a roller coaster of a year, and why I really hope next year we see a massive improvement within this park. Um, let's talk about the overall aesthetic of the park. Some areas absolutely, fantastic. Other areas are in a dire state. The Smiler is not in a good state at all. Not the ride. I mean, the ride experience is rough, and it always has been rough since it opened. But the just the building around the ride, it looks old. It looks tired. Everything needs a jet wash. The floor underneath the coaster is horrible. The projections barely work in the building anymore. I saw on one of Sean Sandbrooks' vlogs, they had temporary queue line they had one of the queue lines closed off indoors with temporary fences there. Like, why? What's going on there? The Smiler is in a dire state. It's in dire need of improvement. The one that is in the most dire need of improvement is Galactica. I mean, I think everybody can agree on that. I mean, that this is not a thing that no one has spoken about before. Galactica is in a poor state, worse than the Smiler. It is. The supports are some of the supports are green now. They have like a green moss on them. The coaster track itself is dirty. The colours fading. The stickers are peeling off the building. The building itself is just doesn't look great. And this is one of the things that Alton Towers needs to get right next year. Is if you're reopening your coaster, which has been operating for nearly 30 years, you've spent £10 million replacing the whole track, updating the entire theme around it, redoing the whole theme and the entire station, which, by the way, great job on Nemesis. It looks fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. Can't wait to ride that next year. But Galactica needs something done. It needs to be incorporated into this Nemesis Street structure somehow. This rebrand, this redo of Nemesis, Galactica needs to be involved, and it needs something done. I mean, ever since the VR was removed, it always has been on a downward spiral. I mean, that you can't hide away from that. But it is in a dire state. It needs sorting. It needs mega upgrades. Just everything. Don't by all means don't get rid of the ride. It's a good ride. It's a good filler ride. It's a good step up from coaster to coaster. But the station, the theme, everything just needs sorting out. Things that don't look aesthetically pleasing. The Retro Squad, and again another one of these ones where people have moaned and groaned about. Enthusiasts specifically have moaned and groaned on about this. The Retro Squad need to go. How many seasons have we had them now? 3 seasons. Yeah, it's at a point now where the Retro Squad needs to. It's just, I understand they are filler rides. I understand the lack of ride lineup this season at Towers, which I will speak about in a second. But it just doesn't look great having tacky funfair rides in a premier theme park. It just doesn't work. By all means, Funk and Fly was a great ride experience. Love that. I've not even ridden Spin Jam or Twistertron yet. I didn't ride them the last time I went to Towers. I just don't feel like there's a need to. I'd rather go and ride on the coasters and the other bits in the park, which are themed and are a bit more worthy of riding. But yeah, the Retro Squad, it needs sorting. It really does. It needs to go. And we need flat rides. Come on, Towers. Everybody wants a new flat ride. Bring us a brand spanking new, heavily themed flat ride, and you'll make everybody happy. You really will. And it won't just make the enthusiasts happy. The GP will like it too. if you market it as a completely new ride experience, the GP will like it. I mean, just talking about ride availability, which is why the retro squad's there. The Sky Ride's been down for the entire season. That's not opened until next year. And Hex, and I really hope, there was rumours of Hex leaving, and I really hope Hex isn't going to go. Hex is another great ride experience. It really shows the history of the park. It shows you what Alton Towers really is, why it started. And it gives you a great backstory in it. Not only that, it's a madhouse, and the madhouses are great. They're really fun. Just the whole thing about it is just great. It's a great ride. So let's hope we don't lose the Towers. I don't think you will. I think it's an absolute icon of the park. I don't think they could lose Hex. Or if they did lose the madhouse itself, I think they would keep it. But I think they would revamp it as a new ride experience, as in it would still be Hex, but it wouldn't be a madhouse anymore. But let's hope Towers put the money into it, put the time and effort into it, and just make it the absolute, just the best of them, put it back to how Hex used to be. But yeah, we need those rides back open. I think that's the problem this year with Towers. That there has been, you go to Towers now, there's a lack of a ride lineup at the moment, and I think Nemesis needs to reopen. I think we need Hex and the Sky Ride back open, and I really think Towers will be on the right path. I think then, if they get those rides open, I think they're a priority. I think then you need to look at aesthetically fixing rides. Galactica, Smiler, 13 even. 13 looks tired. And I love 13. 13 holds a special place with me. But I think 13, it just needs a bit of a refresh. It needs, the Tesla core doesn't work anymore. Last time I was in the queue, there was rubbish in the queue line. There was rubbish in the building. It was just not in a good state at all. Like, come on, Towers. 13's a great ride. Don't let it rot like the other two. It needs sorting out. And the Smiler especially, people come from far and wide for this coaster. This is a worldwide renowned coaster that people come from far away to ride. That has to be a standard as well. Like the Wicker Man, it is also a standard. And don't even get me onto Big Bob's Flames. The flame effect has not been working on him for a while. And again, that's such a disappointment, especially with Scarefest here now. The dart rides on Wicker Man are something else. It just needs sorting. They're just these bits that it just needs a bit of love and care, a bit of Towers love and care. Do you remember when they did that program a few years ago, and it really Towers really stepped up, and now it's gone down again. They need to keep the consistency. It needs a consistency there, and I think if any time is now to make Towers look absolutely fantastic, the time is now, because they've had a lot of backlash and they've had a lot of people talk about this in this way, and it does need sorting. But yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think of, I don't want to talk negatively about Towers, because as I say, it holds a really good place in my heart. It's a park which I absolutely adore, but I want to see it successful. I want to see it be the best theme park in the UK. And it just needs a bit of consistency and a bit of love. That's all it needs. But yeah, that was quite a passionate talk about Towers. I mean, if I've missed anything, let me know in the comments, guys. But hopefully Towers next year, clean up Galactica, theme it into Nemesis, clean up Smiler, clean up 13, and get those rides back open. And then, once you've done that, focus on Project Horizon and make that absolutely fantastic as well. And then Alton Towers, you've got yourself a fantastic theme park. But yeah, if you like the video, like, comment and subscribe. And that was my entire rant on about Alton Towers. But I will see you all next time.